Self-confidence is not something you are born with or without. It is something you build, shape, and strengthen over time through your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Many people struggle with self-doubt because they unknowingly allow negative patterns to dominate their thinking, often repeating the same limiting ideas until they begin to feel like facts. Inspired by the teachings of Joseph Murphy, this process begins with understanding that your mind is always responding to the ideas you consistently feed it. If you constantly tell yourself that you are not good enough, not capable, or not ready, your subconscious mind accepts those thoughts as truth and works to reinforce them in your daily life. The first step in resetting your confidence is awareness, recognizing when these negative thoughts appear and choosing not to accept them as reality. This does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it means refusing to let temporary doubts define your identity or your future. Once you become aware of your internal dialogue, you can begin to gently replace those thoughts with more supportive and empowering ones. For example, instead of thinking, "I always fail," you can shift to, "I am learning and improving every day." This small change may seem simple, but over time, it creates a powerful shift in how you see yourself. As your thoughts begin to change, your emotional state follows, and your actions naturally align with this new sense of belief. Confidence grows when you take action, even when you feel uncertain, because each step forward proves to your mind that you are capable. It is important to understand that confidence is not about never feeling fear. It is about moving forward despite it. Every successful person has experienced doubt, but what sets them apart is their willingness to act anyway. By practicing this mindset daily, you begin to retrain your subconscious mind to expect success rather than fear failure. This is where real transformation begins, not in one big moment, but in small, consistent shifts in how you think and respond to challenges. Over time, these changes compound, and what once felt difficult starts to feel natural. You begin to trust yourself more, speak with greater clarity, and approach opportunities with a sense of calm determination. This is the foundation of true self-confidence, a deep internal belief that you can handle whatever comes your way, learn from every experience, and continue growing into the person you are meant to become. The second step in resetting your confidence is the deliberate practice of mental reconditioning, which means actively training your mind to adopt beliefs that support your growth instead of limiting it. Building on the ideas inspired by Joseph Murphy, this step emphasizes the power of repetition and emotional conviction in shaping your subconscious patterns. Your mind does not simply respond to occasional positive thoughts. It responds to what you consistently impress upon it with feeling and intention. This is why affirmations, when used correctly, can become a powerful tool for transformation. Instead of repeating empty phrases without meaning, you must speak to yourself in a way that feels real, grounded, and believable. For example, saying, "I am becoming more confident every day," allows your mind to accept the statement as a process rather than rejecting it as unrealistic. As you repeat these affirmations daily, especially during quiet moments such as early in the morning or before sleep, your subconscious mind begins to absorb and reflect these new beliefs in your behavior. However, mental reconditioning is not limited to words alone. Visualization plays an equally important role. When you take a few minutes each day to clearly imagine yourself acting with confidence, speaking clearly, making decisions, and handling challenges with calm assurance, you create a mental blueprint that your mind starts to follow. The brain does not strongly distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one, which means you are essentially rehearsing success before it happens. This process gradually reduces fear and increases familiarity with confident behavior. Alongside affirmations and visualization, it is essential to monitor the information you allow into your mind throughout the day. The content you consume, the conversations you engage in, and the environments you place yourself in all influence your internal state. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, criticism, or discouraging messages, it becomes much harder to maintain a confident mindset. On the other hand, choosing uplifting content, supportive people, and growth-oriented environments reinforces the new beliefs you are trying to build. This step requires consistency and patience, because the mind does not change overnight. Old patterns may still appear, and moments of doubt may resurface, but the key is to stay committed to the process without becoming discouraged. Each time you redirect your thoughts, repeat your affirmations, or visualize success, you are strengthening a new mental pathway. Over time, these pathways become dominant, and what once required effort begins to feel automatic. You start to notice subtle but powerful changes in how you respond to challenges, how you carry yourself, and how you perceive opportunities. Confidence begins to feel less like something you are trying to force and more like a natural part of who you are becoming, built steadily through intentional thought and focused practice. The third step in resetting your confidence is taking consistent, intentional action, because no amount of positive thinking can fully transform your self-belief without real-world experience to support it. Inspired by the principles taught by Joseph Murphy, this step focuses on aligning your inner mindset with outward behavior, allowing your actions to reinforce the new beliefs you are building. Confidence grows through evidence, and the most powerful way to create that evidence is by doing the very things you once avoided due to fear or doubt. This does not mean you need to take massive, overwhelming steps. In fact, the most effective approach is to start small and build momentum gradually. When you choose actions that are slightly outside your comfort zone but still manageable, you create opportunities for success that your mind can recognize and store as proof of your capability. Each small win, no matter how minor it may seem, sends a clear message to your subconscious that you are capable, resilient, and moving forward. Over time, these small actions compound into larger shifts, making challenges that once felt intimidating begin to feel achievable. It is also important to approach this process with the right perspective, understanding that mistakes and setbacks are not signs of failure, but essential parts of growth. When you encounter difficulties, instead of interpreting them as confirmation of your doubts, you can choose to see them as valuable feedback that helps you improve. This shift in perspective is critical because it prevents you from falling back into old patterns of negative thinking. Another key aspect of this step is consistency. Taking action once or twice may create a temporary boost in confidence, but lasting change requires repeated effort over time. By committing to daily or regular actions that support your goals, you establish a rhythm that strengthens both your habits and your belief in yourself. Discipline becomes more important than motivation, because there will be days when you do not feel confident or inspired, yet those are the moments when action matters most. As you continue to act despite uncertainty, you begin to trust yourself on a deeper level, knowing that you can rely on your own commitment rather than waiting for the perfect feeling. This sense of self-trust becomes a cornerstone of true confidence. Additionally, taking action often leads to new opportunities, connections, and experiences that further expand your perspective and reinforce your growth. You begin to see that the world responds differently when you show up with even a small amount of confidence, creating a positive cycle where action leads to results, and results strengthen your belief. In this way, confidence is no longer something you hope to feel in the future. It becomes something you actively create in the present through deliberate, consistent effort and a willingness to keep moving forward regardless of temporary doubt.